Yamaha's long-awaited shift to V4 power for MotoGP is beginning to bear visible fruit, with Jack Miller and Alex Rins both expressing confidence that they are riding a package with far greater long-term potential than the inline-four concept the brand has relied upon for over 2 decades. The Japanese manufacturer is entering a decisive era. For years, Yamaha's smooth and corner-friendly inline-four delivered championships through Valentino Rossi and Jorge Lorenzo, but the modern MotoGP landscape has changed dramatically. Ducati's dominance, spearheaded by the aggression and efficiency of its V4, has pushed Yamaha to make a bold leap to stay relevant in the final year of the current technical regulation cycle. That leap was seen publicly for the first time in Valencia, before further winter test work continued in private at the circuit Ricardo Tormo. While there is still a long road ahead, the early signs are giving Yamaha and its riders a genuine reason to believe. Jack Miller. One of Yamaha's newest development signings didn't shy away from acknowledging the scale of progress. "We were only half a second off Raul Fernandez at the top. The speed is there now, it's about cleaning everything up," Miller revealed. He emphasized that throttle response and rear grip behavior still require significant refinement. Key electronic elements such as traction control and engine mapping must evolve to ensure the raw horsepower can be delivered smoothly without sacrificing stability on corner exit, historically a Yamaha strength. This balance will dictate whether the new M1 becomes a true race-winning threat or merely a modest upgrade. While Miller focused on power delivery, Rins highlighted arguably the most crucial improvement in modern MotoGP: braking stability. "The bike is already better than what we tried in Misano. We can stop the bike with both tyres now, not just the front," he explained. "It leans slightly under braking, and that really helps us. This is a major step." Riders on inline-four Yamahas have long complained that they needed far more corner speed to compensate for power loss, a trait that is increasingly incompatible with today's aero-driven stop-and-go racing style. Yet Rins cautioned that traction remains Yamaha's primary weak point. Without strong grip, especially as the tyre wears, the bike will struggle to maintain its newfound speed across race distance. Perhaps most intriguing is how different this prototype feels when compared to its predecessors. Miller described it as a unique hybrid. "You can still feel it's a Yamaha, but there's also a bit of Honda, KTM and Ducati in there. The sound, the weight transfer, the power progression, it's all new." That's exactly what Yamaha needs. It cannot simply copy another bike, but it must embrace the direction the sport has moved in. This transition is more than a technical shift, it's a strategic reset. Yamaha is pushing to rebuild its competitive foundation before the 2027 regulation overhaul gives everyone a clean sheet. If this V4 can become stable, powerful and adaptable, Yamaha may finally close Ducati's horsepower gap, re-establish braking and acceleration confidence, reduce rider complaints about traction and electronics. But if the project stalls, the team risks being caught mid-philosophy when the rulebook changes again. The optimism shown by Miller and Rins suggests that this time the manufacturer has a clear direction, something critics have said Yamaha lacked in recent years. Beyond the immediate performance feedback, Yamaha's V4 project represents a philosophical shift in how the company approaches development. In recent seasons, the Japanese factory was often criticized for being too conservative and slow to introduce upgrades. Now they are acting earlier and more aggressively, ensuring they are not once again left trying to catch up when the championship is already out of reach. This shift in mindset also reflects the growing influence of European engineering approaches. Yamaha is now increasingly relying on data-driven development, drawing inspiration from Ducati and KTM factories that have built success through relentless innovation and willingness to experiment. The inclusion of Miller, who has ridden both of those brands, further strengthens this transition. Equally important is the renewed focus on rider input. In the past, Yamaha's philosophy revolved around designing a bike that was naturally easy to ride. However, the evolution of modern MotoGP with extreme aerodynamics and advanced electronics requires machines to work in harmony with rider technique and adaptability. The early test program shows Yamaha is now listening closely to its riders rather than expecting them to adjust to the bike. Aerodynamics will be another major battleground for the future M1. With increasingly dramatic wing concepts shaping race performance, Yamaha must develop aero that complements its new power profile. A stronger engine allows the engineers to explore more downforce without sacrificing acceleration, something that was nearly impossible with the inline-four architecture. Team morale is also on the rise, and that is not to be underestimated. Years of frustration have weighed heavily on Yamaha's garage, especially as rivals amassed podiums and titles. This new V4 marks a fresh beginning and a belief that the team is finally heading in the right direction. Confidence in the development process is often as valuable as tenths on the stopwatch. Looking ahead, the 2025 testing season will become a decisive proving ground. Each track will expose a different characteristic. Rear grip limitations will be visible at Jerez, launch performance at the Red Bull Ring, and high-speed stability at Mugello. The challenge for Yamaha will be converting early promise into consistent results across all circuit types, something that determines whether a bike can win a championship rather than merely claim occasional podiums. Ultimately, while the V4 project is still in its infancy, Yamaha now has something it has lacked for years: momentum. If technical progress continues alongside strong leadership and clear direction, the iconic manufacturer could soon be back where it believes it belongs, battling for victories, influencing the sport's future and restoring the prestige of the famous M1 badge heading into MotoGP 2026. However, the true test will come once Yamaha squares off against its rivals in direct competition during official test sessions. Private progress can often look encouraging, but MotoGP will expose every weakness once timesheets are public, and factory engineers from Bologna, Mattighofen and Noala are watching closely. Yamaha understands that the winter will be crucial not just for developing the bike, but for ensuring they return in 2026 with a weapon capable of challenging the grid's most advanced machinery. For now, though, the early message from both Miller and Rins is clear. Yamaha finally has a project worth believing in. The V4 marks a turning point in vision, ambition, and competitiveness. If the factory continues to follow this new, bolder path, fans may soon witness the rebirth of a MotoGP giant ready to fight for glory again after years of frustration.